Hello and welcome to another tutorial from Suzanne of Suzy Crafts. Lots of you commented in my last tutorial that you really like the splat stamps from Altenew, so I thought we'd use those again in a really simple card. These are the splat stamps that we're using, and that's a splash of colour by Altenew. I'm going to use these larger ones and some of the smaller dotty ones to fill in. My cardstock is going to fit on a 5x7 card, and it's Anna Maria Designs cardstock, a 300g heavy duty card. I've got my Altenew acrylic block which has the grid printed on it, which is great for sentiments and lining things up. I've got my green set, and we're going to be using Frayed Leaf and Forest Glade from this set, the lighter ones at the bottom. I've got my Frosty Pink from my pink set. And I'm also going to use cotton candy as well. I'm going to show you once more my tip for identifying your colours here. If you take out all the inks, what I've got inside is a strip of cardstock that is the same size as the information piece inside the packet. And I cut that exactly the same size as the information sheet with my guillotine, and I round off the corners with a corner shaper. I stamp on the back using one of my splat stamps all my colours that are contained in that packet. Now it's fine when the colours are printed on the lid, like some of the packaging, but some of them are in black and only the name is in the colour, so you can't really see the true colour of them. So I like to do this, and then I can have a quick reference of the colour in those packs. It's great as well if you want to see the colours of different colour packs, like Simon Says stamps or Hero Arts or something like that. Right, I'm taking my green ones out, which is Frayed Leaf and Forest Glade. I haven't used these stamps before, so I'm just going to put them on my block and then rub over them with a baby wipe. It just makes the ink stick better to the rubber. So I'm just giving those a quick wipe over. I'm also going to give them a quick scrub on my cleaning pad. And then when I'm inking up, I'm using my lightest colour, and I just take off the lid and I'm tapping all the way across my stamp. I never put my stamp onto my ink pad because it just pushes the ink inside the ink pad, but I turn the pad over to the stamp, tapping all the way across. And I'm going to position that where I want my rose leaves to be. And I'm going to change my stamp over to the next one, giving it a small scrub before I take it off, cleaning that up a bit. I'm going to take off my next splat, which is just slightly smaller than the first one, and this time I'm going to use my Forest Glade. Position it over the top of my first ink splat, seeing where I want it to go. One nice, clean, crisp movement. Once down, straight up again. Nice ink splat over the top of my other one, just in my slightly darker colour. I'm giving that a quick wipe off with a baby wipe, and I'm moving on to my first ink splat, but with my Frosty Pink. I really like these colours of pink in here. You can layer them up if you're doing roses later on. When you're doing the Altenew layered stamps, you can really make some really nice, effective, realistic roses. So I've inked up my first ink splat, twisting that around to where I want it to go. And I'm going to take my second colour, but using this ink splat again. And the second colour is the cotton candy. So I'm going to ink it up with the cotton candy. I haven't cleaned it in between. And then I'm going to rotate it round so it lays in a different position over the top of my first splat. And it gives us a lot of colour depth to the card. Now this is a die that I've bought off of eBay. I'm afraid I can't remember the company of it. But there's many out there. If you just Google rose with leaf, there's lots and lots of different ones out there. It doesn't really matter what one that you have. And now I've cut 2 of those. I'm going to take out that little centerpiece there inside the leaf. And all I want is 1 of the roses, but I want 2 of the leaves. So you could position it just to cut the leaf only if you really wanted to and save some paper. I'm just going to trim off the rose part, so I have 1 rose with the leaf attached and an extra leaf. I'm just neatening up the edges of my second leaf there. Now I'm going to take some of the smaller splats that are on the sheet and I'm just going to do a little bit of background stamping with my frosty pink and my frayed leaf colours. So I'm going in with the frosty pink first. And I'm lightly tapping across. I don't want too much of a heavy coverage. And quick down and up. Just a little watermark effect in the background. I'm going to give it a quick wipe off with my baby wipe. And then I'm going to go in with my frayed leaf. And exactly the same again, a really light coverage, tapping over the stamp, quick down, up for my paper. And you can do secondary stamping here as well and you get a much fainter. Secondary stamping is where you've inked it up once, you've stamped it, then you move it across and stamp it again. And I'm going to take my leaf and attach it to the back of my rose die that I've already pre-cut. The die machine I've used to cut this is the Suzy Big Shot Plus, which takes the A4 platforms, so you can do the A4 embossing folders. I'm just going to grab my Tim Holtz stamping platform, positioning my card into place, and I'm going to take a greeting off of that Splash of Colour stamp set, and I'm going to ink it up with one of the darker greens, which is Forest Glade. They got quite a few nice greetings on the Splat set. In actual fact, I like a lot of the greetings. I tend to mix and match. I'm not always using the same greetings with my same Altenew set. You'll find that they mix and match quite well with different things. So I'm going to position it onto my card. Sorry about the hair view there. I'm going to position it onto my card. Flip over the front of my stamping platform so it sticks to it. And then inking my stamp up with that Forest Glade. The lovely thing about using the stamping platform for greetings is if it doesn't come out quite right, you can ink it up and stamp it again in exactly the same position as you was in before, which obviously you can't do with an acrylic block. But I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to take that off my stamping platform. The dye ink does dry instantly, so you haven't got to worry, and it doesn't smudge or anything like that either. This is another piece of Anna Marie Designs cardstock. It's a sort of mottled green. It has a white and green effect on it. And it's cut 1/4 under 5 by 7. I'm going to take my collard glue and do a small L in each corner of my cardstock. And that's all you need to stick it down. Using this glue and cardstock means it doesn't buckle. It just dries nice and flat. I find that using tape runners sometimes they do, when they get hot, they do come off later on. And using the glue, you do have a little bit of time to manoeuvre it around if you want to, if you haven't got it quite symmetrical. So I'm just smoothing that down. It dries very quickly, so you haven't got to worry. And I'm going to take my rose and attach my leaf behind my rose with my collel glue before I fix that down. Once I glue my rose, I'm not going to glue it completely down. I'm just going to glue at the base of the leaves, and I'm also going to glue at the centre of the rose so it lifts slightly off of the paper. You could also use the 3D silicone gel if you wanted to, if you want to give it a more 3D effect. I mean, it's entirely up to you. It goes through the post very well either way. So I'm just placing that over my green and my pink splats, just where I want that to be. Putting the leaves over the green and the rose piece over the pink. Now these pearls I got from the pound store, and I'm just taking a couple of those off and just finishing off my card. I'll leave it to dry completely before I mount it up onto my 5x7 card and package it. But it really doesn't take very long. These are nice, quick, easy cards. You could do them in a range of colours. You could have a pack of 5 or 6, all different colour range, all the same. You like a little notelet set, great Christmas present for people as well. They make great birthday cards, get well cards, just to brighten someone's day. If you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I've also managed to add details if you would like to email me direct. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you have. We have a few more videos out there. I hope you've enjoyed watching today. Thank you and happy crafting. The card on the end of this video has been made by one of the pupils on our live classes. Thank you for watching.